Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ScrapMan, bringing you another look at Robocraft X, which is a super experimental right now sandbox robot-based building game. Now, we took a look at it a little while ago just to get the bare basics of what this game's all about, and they've had a pretty significant update recently that brings something to this game that doesn't exist in games like Scrap Mechanic or Trailmakers right now, and that is conductivity. So as you can see, this battery is depleting by powering this motor, but it is not powering this motor over here. That is because this yellow material is aluminum, and aluminum is conductive. So anything that the aluminum material is connected to a battery, it will basically disperse the energy of that battery through the material. And we've just run out of battery, unfortunately. But, so you can see when I start the simulation here, the motor on the right is going. Now, if I take this aluminum cube, I'm assuming that if I'm just to bridge this connection right here past this rubber piece, that is rubber, by the way, and now you can see both motors are powered. And if I just cut this connection there, they are no longer powered. And then if I replace it with a rubber cube here, so you can see they're still connected up there, you can see that motor is still no longer powered. Now, they've actually added a significant amount. They've added some sound effects in, they've modified some of the visuals, but if you go into our inventory here, you can see we have a ton of new block options. We used to only have pretty much this top row here. Actually, I think that's exactly all we had, except for the lever. The lever is also new. This top row minus the lever was all that we used to have. Now we have all of these different shape blocks and all these different materials, including a sphere. Spheres are... I like the idea of spheres because that adds just like a whole physics option, being able to roll a ball around. So you can see we have aluminum, we have rubber, which is apparently very bouncy. Actually, let's check it out right now. We're going to bring a rubber sphere down here. And what I'm going to do is just place this thing up in the air like this. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to, whoop. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I didn't mean to do that already. Spoilers. I actually want to try, and I want to try all the spheres next to each other. And see, what is this? Infinitum slope. What is infinitum? All right, I just looked on the update notes page. So apparently infinitum is immovable and conductive. So that's actually key. We actually have a static object in the world now. Before, everything else was non-static. So static is actually something that's going to allow us to build bases so that our creations won't tip over if we want to. So yeah, we have infinitum, and then we also, of course, have glass. So let's go ahead and put all these different types of spheres next to each other, and we're just going to see how they compare. So there's rubber, there's aluminum, there's oiled, which is low friction, there's infinitum, which is just going to stay up there, I'm pretty sure, and then glass. All right, and here it goes. Wow. Okay, so the glass is the least bouncy, it looks like. Look at the oil color. It's actually like oil and water, like that rainbowy kind of color. That's really cool. So let's see that again. Yeah, so it looks like the aluminum and the oil that have that slight bounce there, and then the glass, it just absorbs it. So the other thing I want to test out that I haven't tried at all yet is the lever. The lever apparently is how you can control your motors, like forwards and backs, which means that you could probably also have your motors not always on by default. All right, so we're going to put that lever right there, and does it automatically apply now? Ah, yes. Oh, interesting. Look at that. So if we pull it down, we can reverse it. If we put it in the middle, it powers off, but now it's actually just free floating, but I think it's going to slowly... Here, let's jump on it. There we go. See, now it's actually not powered, but we can just grab it and tip it up, tip it back, tip it up. So that's actually significant. In the last version of the game, everything would just go, and you had no control to turn it off or on, but now you're going to have that kind of control with your character here. So all these new additions give you a whole new range of creativity and control over what kind of creations you're going to make, especially like you're going to be able to designate certain batteries for certain motors, things like that, certain levers then for certain motors. Because now actually, I'm assuming that if I put a lever over here, that this lever is going to do nothing. However, now if I put a battery over here, now this lever will control that motor. This lever will control that motor because of the conductivity. Check that out. That's actually pretty awesome. I want to test real quick. Does walking on the different material types change the way your character interacts with it? So here's me walking on this, and I go over here. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, look at that. So when I stop instantly here. When I go over here, and I actually it takes me like another second to stop. Okay, so it does impact the character. That's cool. I wonder what the use of oil would be on creations. All right, so I just thought of an idea on how to apply some of these new materials and the lever and all this stuff. What if we create something that shoots out a projectile? So the projectile would rest on an oily surface for low friction, and then we can probably create the motors on, and we could probably use wheels on motors to kind of close in on the object and then send it flying off. I don't know if it's gonna work because the motors don't seem to be that quick, but I kind of want to see if it works. And then we can even use the infinitum as our base, so we don't even have to build a huge base to accommodate the weight of the actual creation itself. All right, so I'm gonna start building stuff, and I'll update you guys if there's anything significant happening along the way. All right, guys, so I'm running into some unexpected issues here, and I can't figure out what's wrong. But I thought I had this set up so all these batteries have an aluminum conductivity connection to these motors here. And I have these motors flipped because since they're on opposite sides, I want them to rotate kind of opposite directions in order to close around this rubber bullet here. That I chose rubber because of the high friction. So I assumed that this would control both motors at the same time. But what I see happening here, I don't know why, is you can see that, first of all, the motors aren't static while this thing is at 0. But then if I can move this back, oh, now this is actually behaving even different. Oh, there it go. Okay. So you can see that the right motor seems to respond to this thing, but the left motor doesn't really seem to have much of a reaction. And I don't know why. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, it seems like the consistency of it doesn't seem to be happening as much as you would expect. So right now, the gun concept is not working nearly as well as I'd hope, but actually, there's something that might work. There's something that might work. I just don't know how strong these motors are gonna be. But rather than having two things closed on the sides, I could have one thing closed from the top. That way, I don't have to coordinate two separate sections. So let's give that a try, see if that's gonna work any better. Okay, so I built what I thought was going to work. All this aluminum is connected to all these batteries, but if you listen carefully, when I move this lever, listen. There's like this low frequency power down effect, and I'm wondering if that means that the weight that I put on this motor in particular is too much for this motor to handle. Because what happens if I put a battery on these wheels to have them automatically spin, you can see that the motor just falls, and I can't control the motor anyway, so I'm not too sure. And also, that actually doesn't even seem to be working as well as I hoped it would. So there might be a weight limit for these motors to be able to power, and that might be what we're hearing the effects of there, but I'm not entirely positive on that. So I'm doing a little experiment here. I'm gonna put the batteries closer to the motors, And then I'm also, I don't think more batteries gives us more strength, to be honest. I think the motors themselves have strength. Batteries just give us the amount of time we have to use the motors. But just for paranoia's sake, I'm just going to put a bunch of batteries on there. All right, so, oh, no, no, no. Oh, there's some resistance there. Is there? Is there? Hold on. So now if I do this... Oh. No, that was all. I think I'm deluded. Oh, okay. I figured it out. So it turns out that unintuitively to me, the rotors have to be facing opposite directions here. So my reason being was looking at it like top down from the motor here. This way is going clockwise, right? And then looking at it from this direction, it's actually going counterclockwise. So I thought having the motors in this orientation, they'd be fighting each other with the same positive input, but apparently it's not the case. So that actually makes things easier for symmetry's sake. All right, so now let's get back to building and put our tires and stuff back in here. Okay, so now that I put all this weight on here, we're getting that result again. Even though we know that the motors work in this orientation, adding all this weight now gives us that power down sound. So, oh, there we go. So now it kind of works, but we can't lift it back up. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to, we're not going to have it go down manually. We're going to have it go down automatically with a little bit of weight. And what we're going to control with the lever is actually the tires and not this mechanism here. All right, so now our wheel should fall down onto it. And then I think the -1 is going to give us a rotation in that direction. So let's see if we can actually shoot this projectile. And go! Okay, so apparently the torque of the wheels really helps it get up here. Let's unpower these now. We'll turn these into normal axles. There we go, because I don't know if it was the power that actually did anything there. All right, and now let's see if that... Okay, all right, well, that was a complete failure of an experiment, wasn't it? Let's try this again. I don't know why I'm expecting different results. We are going to make ourselves a bit of a... like a barrel for this thing rather than just the bottom part. So hopefully this will hold or contain the bullet, I guess you'd call it. All right, let's see if this is going to help us at all. I really have no idea what to expect with this, to be honest. All right, that seems to be working as intended. All right, now let's go ahead and turn it on. Oh, it's terrible. It is so terrible. The oil has low friction, but it's not frictionless. So I'm actually going to put the lever on the side now so I can kind of watch it easier from the side here. I don't know what to expect with this. All right, and shoot. Oh, wrong way. Shoot. Shoot it. Shoot the thing. Let's try something other than rubber. Maybe it's just the fact that we have a rubber bullet. Let's just try an aluminum bullet. See how an aluminum bullet feels. All right, go. Oh, go. Shoot the thing. Hey, that was not good. That was not good. Slightly better, though, I think. Let's try it again. Go. Okay, you know what? One more wheel. We're going to add one more wheel onto this thing and see if that's going to make things any better. All right, there we go. We got 3 wheels on this thing now. Shoot! Wow. So dangerous. Watch out. We'll extend these a little bit. You know what? Maybe our projectile isn't long enough. Maybe that's the issue. That's probably, this is gonna fix everything. And there it goes. Oh man. You know what? I actually feel like this might need just a little bit more weight so we can keep a little bit more pressure on the projectile. That might help us. You don't know. You don't know. Okay. Okay. Oh, that was interesting. And shoot! Shoot the thing! Shoot the project! Go! Go, get... All right, so obviously the aluminum isn't doing that great. Let's try oiled for whatever. Okay. Yeah, I could have predicted that. Oh, you know what? You know what this needs? This needs a stopper block in the back. Is that gonna stop it? Kinda. All right, that looks okay. All right, go. Okay, we're going back to rubber because rubber is clearly the most obvious option for a bullet. I mean, rubber bullets already exist in real life, so why wouldn't we want to do rubber bullets in this game here? And there it goes. You know, maybe I'm just not cut out to be a weapons engineer. Maybe that's just it. You know what we haven't tried? We have not tried glass. Glass bullets, anyone? ScrapMan over here just completely innovating the weapons tech industry with glass bullets. Whoever. Who has thought of glass bullets before? I never heard of it before, so it must be an original idea that no one has ever thought of. And it's definitely not because nobody would ever do it because it's just a stupid idea. All right, go! Look at that. It almost went to the end. That's, oh, there it goes. All right, so clearly I have no idea what I'm doing in this game. I just thought it'd be fun to try to do this just to see what it would do. But the introduction of friction differences in the game, as well as the conductivity thing, is very, very interesting and provides a new kind of perspective when thinking about builds there. Unfortunately, the gun concept was a failure and didn't work at all, but hopefully it was at least entertaining. Let me know down in the comments if you had any advice on how you would make a projectile launcher in this game. I thought about a catapult originally and scrapped that idea to go with this, and I'm not sure, I'm not even sure if I can get a catapult to work. These motors might not be strong enough yet. So let me know what your thoughts are on the improvements to this game so far. I will definitely be checking out any other major improvements that happen. I know that they're going to be adding like a controller seat and things like that, as well as buttons and switches. So if you missed the previous episode, definitely go ahead and check it out right here on the end screen. We actually built something that was a little bit more successful in that episode, so you're definitely going to want to see that. And don't forget to check out the other links in the description as well. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.